My next guest, National Merit semifinalist, distinguished young woman of Mississippi, tennis player extraordinaire, violinist, classical pianist, going to the Naval Academy, and also, on top of that, organizing a fundraiser for Extra Table at the school. It is none other than Christina Danford. How are you today, Christina?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. I'm really excited. I'm legitimately excited to have you here because we were talking a little bit off camera. You are doing the thing. You're doing so many things. You're busy. How do you have time for it all?
A lot of time management, I guess. I have to prioritize my schoolwork first and my tennis as well because that's so important to me, but everything else just kind of falls into place after those two things.
Yeah, so most recently you were named National Merit semifinalist. What was that like? How does that feel?
Obviously, I was extremely excited that I was given that honor, and a lot of it was also a lot of relief and validation for the amount of work that it took to get to that point, which I took an incredible amount of time to prepare for that.
Well, yeah, that's the summit. That's the top of the mountain. People don't really pay attention when you're, on the journey.
Right.
But
right.
You're well aware.
Right.
So how do you become a National Merit semifinalist? I'm kind of ignorant to this.
You have to first qualify by the PSAT, which it's kind of like the SAT if anyone's taken the SAT, but it's fewer questions than the SAT. But that's really the only way to prepare for the PSAT is by taking the SAT. But I guess to become a National Merit semifinalist, it varies from state to state, but there is a certain score that you have to make on that test that qualifies you for entrance into the National Merit Scholarship Program.
So you take tests good.
That is one way to put it.
Take tests well. I know.
Take tests well.
Everyone relax. No, that's really, wow, that's really cool. So you had to take that test a couple times, right? Really try and beat it, right? Because you're a very competitive person. So when you went into taking that test, you had to be thinking, I'm going to win, right?
I had to go into that test with the right mindset. I actually took the SAT 3 times before I took the PSAT. And being the person that I am, I found 10 SAT practice tests on the internet. And the months leading into that, I spent a lot of my weekends doing those 10 tests. So I did put a lot of pressure on myself, but I guess I could say it was positive pressure as I ended up getting the score that I needed to make.
So yeah, I feel like that's kind of your thing is you recognize that you have to sacrifice your time and you have to put in a lot of effort. We were talking about this, being a tennis player, that's a unique animal, right? Do you think that your athletic endeavors assist you in your academic endeavors?
I think for sure. I know with tennis, especially being from Mississippi, a lot of dedication, probably more so than some people who maybe go to tennis academies. I've had to be a lot more dedicated than those people. Oftentimes, I remember in 8th grade when I first came to Sacred Heart, I had to get up sometimes really early in the morning and go to the court at 5:30, 6:30 in the morning to get in that time that I needed to get in. So I definitely think that the discipline and the dedication that I have to have for tennis, it helps develop those characteristics for my schoolwork as well.
How many times a week do you hit?
I will usually go to the court every single day. As long as it's not raining, I will be on the court, and it's usually anywhere from 2 hours to 2.5 hours usually every day.
So are you still doing the 5:30 in the morning thing, or is that?
Oh, no.
Okay. So when you were doing that, though, what would your day look like? So you go and train, 5:30 to 7?
Usually be from 5:30 to 6:30 in the morning, and my mom, we actually have a ball machine. Neither one of my parents play tennis.
Really?
Neither one of my parents play tennis. So every morning my mom would go with me to the racket club with the ball machine.
Oh, cool.
And I would have to bring my clothes with me, and I would change at the racket club.
Right.
And then my mom would bring me to school. And I would usually go for about an hour and a half after school too.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And that went on for all of 8th grade pretty much.
And then do you take lessons as well? Do you have a coach, or is it your parents helping you out?
I do have a coach.
Okay.
So I've taken many, many, many lessons from Mr. Mark Lux, who's the coach at William Carey.
Oh, I love Mark.
I love Mark. He's
awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then I've also taken a few lessons from Coach Teddy Viator.
Yeah. I used to take lessons from Teddy. That's awesome. That's
Love
cool.
him.
Yeah. Is it hard for you to turn off that competitive switch? Like, because that's the thing I get with people who accomplish a lot. It's also very tough to like just turn it off. I feel like you are always trying to win at something. Is that accurate?
Pretty much. The competitive spirit in me, it's pretty much always there because I'm always competing on the tennis court, competing in school, competing in music, competing in everything. And sometimes I know there's a lot of times when I really need to turn that off. And it's hard for me to turn that off. So that's definitely something I need to work on.
Now, when you play music, like you're a classical pianist, you also play violin. I mean, it's kind of insane on paper what you do, and you're a senior in high school. It's kind of insane. When you play music, is that a relaxing endeavor for you, or is it still very intense?
It can be both. Sometimes when I'm preparing for a music competition, that can be a little stressful. But most of the time, for the past 4 years, I've been playing violin at the Temple Baptist Church Orchestra. And that to me is really relaxing, just to go in and play some music that isn't quite as difficult as a lot of the music that I have to prepare for competitions. It kind of gives me a way to de-stress. Sometimes when I've had a really hard day, or maybe I had a really hard tennis practice, I can just go in and sit down at the piano, or I can pick up my violin and just really enjoy myself.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's a gift. That's one of those, I always say I think everybody should play some kind of instrument because it's such a unique,
right.
I love sports too, but it's just not
the same.
Right. It's not the same. And there's something about when you play an instrument where, or if maybe you paint something artistic, it feels more for you. Even if you do it for others or you do it for a job, whatever, it still feels more for you. Another thing you actually got done is you won the Distinguished Young Woman of Mississippi. I nailed it first time. What? You just win in everything. What is that? Tell me about that.
So it is a scholarship program as well as a leadership program that provides opportunities for young women to develop leadership skills, scholarship money, and also to just make friends. But I first learned about the program when my brother was a senior in high school. And I think that was the first Distinguished Young Women program that I ever went to. Was a lot of his friends were in the Jones County program, and I went to their program. And at that point, I really didn't consider it as something that I might potentially do. And I remember last January, I think it was, my mother brought it up to me and said, "Oh, I think you would do really well in Distinguished Young Women." And not knowing a whole lot about the program, even though I had seen a program, but I hadn't really done any research about it and didn't know a lot about what it was.
Right.
From the surface, I looked at it and I went, that's a pageant. That's a pageant. And I looked at my mother and I said, absolutely not. There's no way. And I did some research. I sat down and I read about it. And I realized, wow, this is actually a really great program. This can give me a lot of opportunities that I wouldn't have otherwise had. So I entered my local program, which I actually didn't have a local program. I had to go to the at-large program because Forest County doesn't have an official program.
Right.
And I ended up going to state. And I didn't go into state expecting to win. That's because I had never participated in anything like DYW before. I don't consider myself kind of that type of girl. But it just broke all of my expectations for what I thought the week was going to be like. They had these amazing activities planned for us every single night. We had a red carpet party, which was almost like prom.
Yeah.
But better because everyone was dancing and everyone was having fun and singing.
Like you're supposed to.
Right. We had a night at Hype Adventures, which, wow, go-karts, laser tag, axe throwing, rock climbing, pretty much anything fun that's kind of outdoorsy, kind of cool, they had in this one place. And I got to spend a week with a host family, the most amazing, kindest, sweetest people that I've probably ever met. They were amazing.
That's awesome.
And I had 2 roommates. And I guess that was the thing that really shocked me, is every person that I met was so kind, so genuine, so much like me. I had never been around so many people in 1 week that were so similar and so like.
It gives you hope, right?
It gave me hope. I was like, wow.
Yeah. You're not on an island, really.
Right.
Sometimes it can feel like that,
Right.
but you're not.
Right, the same people
Not
who are
alone.
all driven and motivated just like me. But it's definitely...
You're not crazy.
Sometimes I think I am.
Yeah, but you're not.
Right, but it's definitely a week that I encourage everyone who might be watching this who is considering doing DYW, I would 100% do it again.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that I made the decision to do Distinguished Young Women, that the money that I've gained from it, the friends that I've gained from it, the interview skills, the public speaking skills I've gained from it,
Yeah,
they're going to serve you so well in the future. And even right now, talking on this podcast, it's very helpful.
Sorry, I'm like stepping on you there. Exactly. You can tell you're very skilled, and man, that's impressive. That's really cool. That's really cool that you got to do that, and it's really cool that I don't know that you had that on your radar in the first place. You know, because that's not everybody. And you are right. Sometimes when you're a try-hard, I hate that term. I hate that that's like a put down.
Right.
Like, what do you mean? Trying hard's bad. It does get kind of lonely. So that's really cool that you had that experience. I love that. Now, on top of all this, we got to talk about it. You're organizing a fundraiser for Extra Table here at the school. Tell me about that.
Well, I first learned about Extra Table at Temple Baptist Church a few weeks ago when Mr. Robert St. John, the founder and organizer of Extra Table, came and spoke. And actually before that, I had no idea what Extra Table was, but it really kind of shocked me, a lot of the statistics that he used. A lot of people do know that Mississippi is #1 in obesity, but a lot of people don't know that Mississippi is also #1 in food insecurity, which means that a lot of Mississippians don't have enough money to put food on the table for their families.
Yeah, that's terrible.
For their families each week, which I thought was really, really sad. That there's 670,000 Mississippians who are food insecure, and that 200,000 of those are actually kids who they eat a school breakfast, they eat a school lunch, and they don't eat again until the next day. And then kind of made me think a little more, how are we both the #1 food insecure state, but we're also the most obese state? Until he finally explained that these people who are food insecure, they eat out of gas stations. They eat the most highly processed, most high-calorie food like chips, Coke, M&Ms, things like that, candy. So Extra Table is a nonprofit food charity that does its best to deliver healthy meals to these people in need. And what I love about Extra Table is that 100% of the money that's donated to Extra Table goes to food, and 100% of the food goes to Mississippians. There's no out-of-state deliveries here.
Right.
So I have partnered with Extra Table as part of my Distinguished Young Women program to do a box drive here at the school among the grades. And my goal is to have each class kind of compete against each other for who can have the most boxes.
Right.
And these boxes will be available in the religion classes.
So the box, that's one meal, right?
Right, and I actually do have a box.
Yeah, let's see it.
So this is what the box looks like. Hopefully you can see that. Okay. And each box will come with a flyer that tells you exactly what to put in each box.
Let me see this list here. Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, how to pack your box. Vegetables,
Right.
2 items. Proteins, 2 to 3. Fruits, 2 items. Grains, 2 to 3 items. And low sodium spices. So we talked about this, too. This isn't just food. This is healthy food with, because it's a basic human right,
Right.
to have food. It's about, having some dignity about this, too. So this is only healthy food that we're dealing with, which I like. And I like that you wow, you're kind of an impressive human, Christina. So the fact that you're doing this on top of everything else that you got going, you ever heard of Elon Musk? You familiar with him? Yeah, you get serious Elon Musk vibes. Let's go to space, This is awesome. Well, look, if you want more information about Extra Tables fundraiser, you can look at the links in the description, get more information from them. But now it's time to play Questions About You. Are you ready?
I am ready.
What's your favorite color?
Very specific shade of blue. I love turquoise.
Turquoise.
It reminds me of the ocean. Just really peaceful.
I like that you find things that give you peace. I think you need to relax just a little bit. I want you to do well. So I like that. What's your favorite food?
Anything Italian. I love Italian food. Probably really, really specific. My most favorite thing is my mom's lasagna.
Aw.
Homemade.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Time travel.
Okay. Where would you go?
Ooh.
Forwards or backwards?
I'm a little nervous to go forwards.
Yeah.
I'm
Same.
a little nervous to go forwards, especially with things that are happening today, and also to see what would happen in my own life would be a little nerve-wracking.
Spoiler alert.
Especially. But I've always been fascinated by kind of colonial America. I think it would be really interesting to go back to right around when we signed the Declaration of Independence and kind of see what America was like.
Right.
At that point, I think it'd be super interesting.
That'd be cool if I didn't have to stay long. Going too far back past air conditioning is kind of a deal breaker for me.
See, I just want to go for a day.
Yeah,
just a day. I just want to see what it's like.
and then I need to get cleaned up.
Right.
I don't want to live like this. Oh, that's cool. Well, what's your spirit animal?
An eagle.
Okay.
Eagles, they're loyal animals. They're really persistent. They have a lot of endurance. They're really hard workers. They're slightly stubborn, which I can kind of relate to. But overall, they have a lot of qualities that I kind of see in myself.
You know, I don't know you super well, but this whole conversation has been so on brand, and I love it. Like, yes, favorite animal, eagle. Like, let's go. I love that. Who is your favorite tennis player?
Rafa Nadal.
Yeah. El Toro.
I don't know. I absolutely love him. His on-court demeanor to me is amazing. I can do his little...
You got it? All right, do your Nadal pre-serve.
Okay, Nadal pre-serve. Okay, so we bounce the ball twice, Then we have to do nose, ear, bounce the ball again. Then we serve.
Mm-hmm.
And he never steps on the lines.
Mm-hmm.
Stepping on the lines is bad luck.
And he's got the water bottles, too, that they're always pointed towards.
He has his water bottles that are always angled at the net.
Mm-hmm.
100% of the time.
Have you read his book?
I've read part of his book.
It's
amazing.
good.
His book is amazing.
Finish it. It's so good. Tennis player books are the best. Andre Agassi's Open was so good, too, and it's just so well thought out. I've read soccer player books. I read Beckham's book. I was like, this... What? Like, this is terrible. I love David Beckham, but he's not good. Tennis player books are awesome. Well, that's really cool. Oh, one-handed or two-handed backhand?
Two-handed.
Okay. Do you split step when you get to the net, or do you just step?
Just step.
Open stance when you hit your forehand, like you step with your right foot, or do you step with your left? Do you cross over?
So since I'm left-handed,
I'm
left-handed.
So you would step over. Do you
step with my left foot?
So you step open stance. Okay.
Kind of depends on the shot. If I just cannot get there fast enough, it's open stance.
Right.
But if I do have time to set up,
we're
going to do close stance.
Close stance. I like that. Yeah, that's so cool. If you could play in any Grand Slam and win it, which one would it be?
Ooh, I've always had this dream to go to Wimbledon. Not only just to see Wimbledon, but if I would love to play there too. I've always had this obsession with going to a grass court and just playing on a grass court.
Yeah.
Right. And actually, I played in the National Clay Courts this past July.
Oh, cool.
And the tennis center that I played my first match at has a grass court.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the first time I've ever gotten to see one. And people around me probably thought I was crazy. I just stood there. I was like, is that actually grass? Like, there's no way.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, at Wimbledon, the only way you can become a member of the All England Country Club is to either be royalty or to win the tournament. So, are you royalty? You better win that tourney.
I better win it.
Go win it, Christina. I know you can do it. All right, this one is my favorite. How do you want to be remembered at Sacred Heart?
So I know that I have a lot of accomplishments to my name, and I know that that's how a lot of people probably will remember me, is by my accomplishments, but I would like to be remembered by more than just my accomplishments, more as who the person I actually was. I want to be remembered as someone who was honest, someone who helped people, someone who just was always there for others, someone who was kind and respectful. Just more than, oh, she was a national merit semifinalist. Oh, she was a tennis player. Just more than just my accomplishments, for sure.
You don't want it to be left at what your titles are.
Right. I think that's so shallow. I think there's a lot more to people than their accomplishments and the titles that they have. That underneath all of that, we're really genuine, really kind, really just people. And I think a lot of times people forget that.
Yeah, that's, wow. Jeez. Are you when are you running for president? I'll vote for you. Because it's going to happen. Yeah, that's, I don't, like I said, I don't know you personally very well, but just speaking with you, I would say impressive, but that's not really, that's more of an understatement. It's kind of shocking. It's kind of shocking at what you've been able to accomplish, but also the way you articulate your thoughts and feelings. It's not normal in the best way, you know. And you talked about like kind of feeling like you're on an island. Man, that's such a beautiful island to be on and stay on it as long as you can, because you're going to be remembered as a great student here and a great person. And I'm just glad I got this short amount of time to talk to you. It was really cool. I was honored to have you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good rest of your week.
Thank you. To you too.
Seriously, you're like impressive. It's insane. It's insane.